There are four very popular and very commonly used. All right. My apologies. There are some students joining us live here. I just need to make a few changes. I have not set up for that purpose. And they will be seeing nothing on the screen unless I connect the projector and switch it on. My apologies for that. As they say, if anything will surprise you, it will be on a Friday that it happens. Right. Right, we should be fine soon. Good. Our first level, as I said, there are 4 levels of marketing segmentation. The most commonly used one, or the most common one, is the mass segmentation. That's basically, that's everybody. Companies don't specifically, there's no distinct differences. Sorry, there's students joining us here. My apologies for those online. Right, guys, take a seat wherever you can. There's a lot. Yeah. Okay. I checked beforehand because they've scheduled some activities in the auditorium. You saw the lady there, and I asked her just this morning, because when they allocated the auditorium to her, they didn't check. I think there's also sometimes there's confusion. Remember, you guys are on the uneven weeks. You're on campus and then you're off campus and whatever. And today this week you're here, and I'm not sure if everything was checked before she was given that, that facility. But I also know that fortunately we have another one here, and I'm glad that you got the message and that you are here. Importantly for us, as I said, and to resume the session, for those who've just joined me live, and also for those who have joined online, or maybe joined late online. Today's sessions are double period. We all know that by mutual agreement, we never finish at 12:35 because we include our breaks. We work our breaks on a sort of a mutually agreed, what works for both of us best type of manner. As I said already at the start, for those who were here from the beginning, I'm going to complete and finish chapter 6 today, okay? Because that is the final chapter that we have to cover for you to, and that will be assessed in the formal test on Tuesday. We'll take a short break for those who are here. I know, raise your hands, the smokers. You don't have to, I'm not judging, whatever, smokers. Okay, you're going to get your time to have a smoke break. Don't worry. I can see when you're dozing off that I know, you need some stimulation. So I'll allow you a break, and then after that, I've prepared a 7-page PowerPoint, which basically just summarizes everything that we've done and a breakdown of the test, the format, and the duration and the time and the marks and everything. Okay, so that's all good to you. The 4 popular, we're starting for the 3rd time now. The 4 segments or levels of segmentation. Mass segmentation usually does not specifically target a segment. It's like a company like Coca-Cola, for instance. They produce and people will buy. Okay, so mass, very much like the production orientation or philosophy that we did in chapter 1. Similarly with your segmentation. This is products that there's no real differentiating differences in the products. Toilet paper, for instance. Toilet paper is toilet paper. I mean, there's not even different forms of it. It comes in a roll. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's some patterns and different colors or whatever. It is the same thing. Okay, salt. The other example I've used as well. Salt is salt. It can come in different formats, but salt is salt. And there's no real distinct differences between salt from this particular region of the world from that particular region. So it's a mass-produced product, and that's why marketing is also done to the masses and not to a specific market segment. Right, the next one is slightly different. It's the segment marketing, where a specific segment of the market is targeted. In the example I've used, for instance, it's usually done for fast-moving consumer products. First time a number of years ago, when I was online shopping, looking for work and whatever, after I got retrenched, and I saw these marketing positions. We're a marketer, but you must have experience of FMCG. I thought, what is FMCG? I've never had something like that. I've never heard of something like that. And then I realized it's actually fast-moving consumer goods. Okay, so when you actually Google online or search online for job opportunities, don't be afraid. It's not a disease that you need to have had or recovered from, or a specific skill that you need. It refers to a specific segment of the market. In other words, if it's fast-moving consumer goods, they're targeting your marketing. These are products, people, and I think from the image that, sorry, I haven't included the image on the screen. From the image on the screen, you'll see it's almost all these consumer products that you find in a supermarket. Things that we use on a daily basis: bread, milk, cheeses, these kind of things. Okay, so it's specifically targeted at that group of consumers who use this on a regular basis, on a daily basis. The marketing is targeted at that particular group or that specific segment. The segments is usually based, and within those segments there could be obviously subsegments like we've identified earlier, or early in the week. Yesterday was early in the week for us. Then we have niche markets. Niche marketing is specifically targeting like the example, I couldn't think of better examples of that. First for Women. First for Women is what it is. It's insurance for women. Okay, so if you're not female, don't phone. Don't go onto their website. Okay, if you're unsure, now you know what? First for Women is also not going to help you. Okay, but and Dot is the other one. First time I got I heard of Dot was when they, I think very much during lockdown, I was watching, I quite enjoy these reality shows, MasterChef Australia. No. I'm not a bachelorette or bachelor, whatever, those kind of, I'm more into Survivor. I think of Survivor Australia. I was walking past the television yesterday, my son was watching Survivor. I thought Survivor South Africa only starts in June. And then I started Survivor Australia. People are running out of ideas. So what they're doing now, after 20 years of survival, they're bringing all the 20 champions back and they're putting them on the island now. So you can imagine that dynamic. So I actually quite enjoyed it. And then I actually enjoy the Aussies having a go at each other. It's so much more fun than your own people being South African now. And during those, I think it was especially during that 6 to 8 slot on DSTV during hard lockdown, when they had America's Got Talent and Britain's Got Talent, and they had all these shows and MasterChef Australia, and I was specifically watching that. I said to my son one evening, you know, I don't think they have any other commercials to run, because it was like Dot Show and there's a break. We actually had a bet and said, listen, you know, Dad, can you buy me this tomorrow? Let's guess what the next ad's going to be. And I said, no, let's not guess, because it's going to be a Dot Show ad. And it's pet insurance. It's again a very niche market. If you don't have a pet, You don't need pet insurance. Okay, so it's targeting a specific niche market. These people are also prepared to pay a specific premium, and they have the ability to do it as well. Private banking is another example. And I realized, you know what, maybe when I was in hospital in January, it was all, and that usually all happens, it happens in threes, they say. My dog got sick as well, and he went to the vet, and I said, you know what, this is the bill, and these are the suggested surgery, and I said, there's no way I'm paying that, regardless of how much I love my dog. But then I realized the importance. It's like, oh, you know what? It stuck in my mind, this irritating, repeating Dotshire ad, and I now have Dotshire because my dog is still 2 years old, almost 2 years old, so he's probably going to live another 10, 15 years, this very active Jack Russells, because they do 13, 15 years. That's usually with how old they get. And I was just calculating, right, if this is the case at this point, it's like a child. You probably have to, at some point, have some kind of hospitalization and surgery, and it's going to cost me. And you know what? It's actually worth paying that. I know we hate paying it because we just see the debit order goes, whoom, there we go. That's insurance. Whoom, that's for that. That's for my car. That's for my house. That's for my dog. Oh, that's for me, medical. And you don't really see any benefit until the accident happened, until you need it. And that's obviously the benefit of a service like that. But very much niche marketing, focusing on specifically a smaller group within the larger group of potential customers. And then we have the final group, and that is micro marketing. Now, some people say that's even, it's niche marketing within niche marketing. You can even break, and that's why it's micro. Remember from school, who did science at school? I was not cool on science. Okay, first opportunity I could choose to drop it, I did. Okay, but if something is too small to see, okay, you put it under a microscope because it blows it up and you say, oh yeah, well, there we go. That's a virus or something or whatever. The fact of the matter is, if you want to in your mind paint a picture of what as in relation to a niche market, a micro market would be, it would be even a smaller section of that. And probably best examples, you've seen that Adam Sandler movie, The Cobbler. Okay, that's very much niche marketing because I mean every single shoe that his dad made and he made is that's literally. When he started trying on the shoes and he was walking in other people's shoes, he experienced their lives. It's very much a tailor-made. It's tailor-made suits as well. It's your suit. It's not. You're not going into Fashini or Markrams or any of these shops and buying off the shelf. Okay, right. See, it's a 41 long or no 42 regular, and you take one off the shelf and you buy and you're out of there. This is pretty much you. They stand there, they fit you, and it's specifically made for you. You girls, you were the unfortunate ones. No matric dance last year. You did have one. You weren't going to miss out on that opportunity. I had the dress made in grade 7 already, something like that. Not really. Okay, but there are some girls that do that. Pretty much the same with weddings as well. You don't go into Edgar's and say, oh, yeah. No. You have done something special. It's a special event. It's a once-off. And it's also, I believe, is there a second-hand market for wedding dresses? Do people rent out a dress? I would hate to rent out a dress for an occasion like that. Anyway, it's very much a micro market. Okay, because not half the population, more than half the population are females. Okay, I'm not sure what the rate is, but how many people or how many females actually do get married out of all the females that we have on our planet? I mean, not everybody does. So it very much is something that is needed for a special occasion, very often a once-off occasion. I don't think I even have a suit in my cupboard. Oh, well, I was never in a profession anyway that I needed something like that. It would have been odd wearing a suit to what I was doing, what the jobs that I've done over the last 30 years. I got married in a suit though. I think that's about the last suit I have or had. I definitely won't fit in it anymore. But anyway, so you get the idea of what a micro market is. It's a very small market within almost, you can say, with almost a niche. Sometimes people actually are confused between and in some publications you'll find that a niche marketing is also called micro marketing and the reverse, but there is a difference between the two. Right. Oh, internet is extremely fast today. No, that's not. I actually needed to take that out. It wasn't that important for us to have that in there. But anyway, let's deal with it anyway. Sorry, we'll go back to that one. Qualifying dimensions for segmentation. In other words, you have to. You can use specific qualities of a consumer to target a market. We've seen in our session yesterday all the demographics and the genders and the ages and the incomes. Those are all different ones. The more sort of physical dimensions is more determining dimensions is more important, I think, in my opinion. I read recently, hence the image there on the bottom right-hand side of the screen of it's an airport in Cape Town, but it's not Cape Town Airport. Did you know Cape Town had more than one airport? The original airport, actually more than 100 years ago, before they actually built Cape Town International, there's one in Santa Cruz, that's outside of Durbanville, between Durbanville and Malmesbury. You can land Boeings there. That's actual picture of aerial picture of their runways, and it appears that plans have been approved now for that to become like Lanseria and OR Tambo to be an alternative for people traveling to Cape Town, and then also usually or only take domestic flights and land them there. It'll be quite interesting. When I worked in London, I lived in Hounslow, which is the residential area closest to Heathrow Airport, and I suppose you get used to it. But yeah, there's also some obviously building restrictions as to how close to a residential area an airport can be. But I think the Durbanville industrial area has moved out. Durbanville Industrial Park, they call it, has moved out towards Malmesbury, so it's even beyond that. So it's probably about 10 k's out of Durbanville, which is it makes sense. I mean, Cape Town is a busy airport, not by JFK and Heathrow standards, but it is still very much a very busy airport. Definitely the busiest in Africa. Very often when people buy houses, they have specific determining dimensions that they consider, like being close to a school. It again depends. We take it back to what we did yesterday. It depends on where you are in what phase of your life cycle you are. If you don't have kids, then being close to a school is not going to be a qualifying criteria or a determining dimension for you to make a buying decision or not. Okay. Taking it from a marketing point of view, the reason why we look at these determining dimensions is when you target a specific market segment, you focus on those determining dimensions for specific market segments. In other words, for instance, recently married or married for 3 to 5 years, couples might start thinking of starting a family, so their needs will change. Because their needs are changing, they might be interested in buying or upscaling the property that they have. Instead of renting, they might become potential buyers. When they considering to buy, then also they have certain specs regarding the number of rooms that the house should have. Those are all determining dimensions when buyers make decisions. Right, qualifying and determining basis for segmentation. Sometimes businesses segment markets because they want to reclassify an existing product that they have, and they feel that it wasn't as successful in this particular market segment. We might to reclassify the segment that we're targeting for with this particular product. It could be that they are expanding, then they're adding more segments to what they already have. Classic examples are products that familiar brands like shampoos who also have. Initially, it was just shampoo and maybe they've added conditioner, and now if they have shampoo and conditioner and they've got a combined two-in-one kind of shampoo conditioner, they might also add a new product to the range, like soaps, for instance, or even going to moisturizing creams. It's all complementary products, and especially it's an approach that's especially taken by very successful businesses because they already have an established image in the industry of a reliable, high quality product, a reliable company that offers high quality products, and therefore, if they add something new, the immediate assumption from the consumer is that it's also going to be of high quality, and they keep on supporting that brand. I know that I'm very much against. I actually hate it. That's one of the reasons why I have this goatee, but it's just too itchy to have a full beard, and that's why I don't know. I mean, you used to it by now, or not? Yeah.
Oh, yes, sir.
No, there's no problem. I did a river rafting trip on the Orange River a number of years ago, and by day 5, apart from being 47 degrees in the shade, and it was really, I mean, I fell off the boat, and then within a minute, my t-shirt was already dry. It was so dry and hot. But anyway, it's there where I realized that, you know what, I'll never be able to have a full beard. I was itching. I was the first thing. Somebody said, oh, geez, after 5 days on the river, I'm just going to have a beard. I said, no, I'm just going to have a shave. And I think that's another example. Nowadays, you've got these, what do I call it? Not reusable, throwaway type of, you shave it once and you chuck it away. You buy 5 in a packet or whatever. Quality is not that great as opposed to the traditional razors, the Gillette razors and the Chic razors. That I need something sturdy in my hand to when I do eventually shave. Those are some of the qualifying determining basis. Whoops, a daisy, almost missed that one. There are steps in the market in the segmentation process. They're on the screen. It's not one of those. The steps are actually logical and straightforward. However, I'm not going to ask you in any test or exam to name the 7 steps for me. Might be in a short question, but no, this is not a section that's extremely or they should be extremely worried about and say, oh, geez, every time I see something like this, my heart skips a beat because I know, oh man, this is another diagram that I have to study, or another process that I have. There's going to be many. There's still going to be many. Don't worry. This is not one of them. It's straightforward. You can read through it. We're selecting a market or a category that you want to target. You list your potential needs from a business side now, obviously. Yes, question. Not question. Just scratching your head. That's also cool. You choose your basis, select the descriptions, how you want to describe the market, the profile, then you draft a profile of the specific market segment, identify the determining dimensions like we've just did on the previous slide, and you name and select the target market. That's a process that you go through from the whole market segment to actually deciding on which one of those available are we going to target, or which ones are we going to target. Because businesses don't necessarily always, not everybody all businesses have the capacity to to target more than one market. It's very much determined by the resources that you have available. It's a costly exercise, and especially if you're not 100% sure if it's the correct market, you're going to spread yourself very thin if you target more than one. Then there are other businesses who say, you know what, let's just we are going to be like a traditional fisherman who chucks his line into this pond over here, and which is a fish will bite. We're going to chuck our lines into 5 different ponds and see which one bites, because that's going to be an indication that maybe, okay, right, if there's another bite in that same pond, then maybe that's if I can take that analogy further, the target or targets or segments that we are going to focus on our efforts on. But with the technology that we have available nowadays, the information is so well, we live in the information era where data is everything. You cannot complain that you didn't have enough data. It's actually sorting through through all the data and getting the appropriate or the relevant data from everything that makes you successful. But that's pretty much what is happening at through a process like this, where you decide on which market you are going to eventually target, or markets. Not too many businesses nowadays have a sort of a let's shoot at all the targets and see which one we hit. They very much are clear on exactly which market segments they are targeting before they start the whole process. There are 3 strategies that we are going to look at over the next couple of slides to complete this chapter. These are all strategies that we can follow to target our markets. We've got undifferentiated, the differentiated, and the concentrated marketing strategies. Okay, let's look at each of them differently. These are separately, sorry. These are very specific. Those are just from the previous slide, putting all 3 of them more in a visual format. Undifferentiated, you can see it's almost undifferentiated, is almost mass marketing. Okay, you're taking everybody, regardless. If you've got the money and you want our product, you can buy it. We're not differentiating. Multi-segment means more than one segment, and concentrated obviously is more niche marketing, is focusing just on one specific segment. Right, that's putting into visuals. Now look at each of them individually. Undifferentiated targeting. Let's say, for instance, if we use that diagram, you'll see the different segments, market segments, and there's no open block there, because the undifferentiated targeting strategy means that we are targeting everybody. Okay, it's very much a repeat of what we said previously. The differentiation between them, or to differentiate or distinguish between them when it comes to exam questions, is to make very sure in your preparation and read the question very carefully. Are we referring to the strategies, or are we referring to the basis or the levels? They're very interlinked, but just be very sure when you read your questions. I can't recall if any of them is in Tuesday's paper, to be honest with you. I went through the paper a couple of days ago just to prepare the PowerPoint view, but to be honest with you, then you start marking 3 more different papers from 3 different modules, and at the end of the day, that's gone out of your head already. They are targeting everybody. Companies like Coca-Cola, McDonald's, for instance. I mean, everybody that's hungry can go to McDonald's. There's no, yeah, they'll take anybody. They take anybody's money, basically. Okay. Right. Next one. Multi-segmented. I've chosen Toyota as an example. Toyota are targeting different segments with different products. Okay, they manufacture SUVs, 4x4s, off-road vehicles, small sedans. Does Toyota have electric vehicles? Yeah, they do have. Yes, of course they. Yeah, they've got hybrids as well. So they're targeting different segments with different products. All products are still cars, but it has different features, and therefore it targets different segments of the market. Okay, big circle, everybody that wants a car or needs a car. Multi-segments, we select. They don't have everything. They don't cover all the bases. They know exactly that, and that's why they've been extremely successful in South Africa over, I think, almost 40 years now, if not longer even. It might even be longer. Toyota's been in South Africa, but time and again, I mean, they top sales in the vehicle industry for many, many years. They still are, yes.
But Tesla now is the highest share because everyone bought shares.
Of course. Was it your group that I shared yesterday, or was it one of the others, the first Bitcoin billionaire?
And you asked us what we want to buy, and you asked us afterwards about the rocket.
I know, yeah. Have you changed your mind since yesterday? Or are we still buying islands?
I still want to
He still wants to buy islands.
island, personal gym, my own like.
Oh, the list. You've added a few things to the list now.
Yeah. So I want to never need to leave the island ever. Just be alone.
If you want some.
Yeah, you won't be getting any Uber deliveries there. If you want to be in isolation and nobody know where you are, then you can't really. You have to completely be off the grid. There are a number of islands. I checked. There's some islands available for those who have the money to buy.
Come on, guys. In 30 years' time, it's all for the money because it's fine.
Yeah, you won't be.
No. So we arranged like a get together. You guys just all magically, weirdly disappear.
We have our own like little pieces of the island.
Yeah. We just section.
And then I like
It sounds like a cult.
Yeah, for the days we want to get together and have like a braai or whatever.
Right. The final one is the final strategy is the concentrated strategy or targeting strategy. It's very much niche marketing. Okay, not everybody can afford a Porsche. Not everybody can afford an Aston Martin. Not everybody wants an Aston Martin. What vehicles would you buy if that was on your shopping list? Winning the lotto. I can see there's maybe some Bugatti guys here. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, still a Toyota. Maybe more. All the colors you can find. Buy a Supra. Buy one for every day. Right. Concentrated targeting is exactly that. You can see that out of the entire market, there's one specific. That's the concentrated targeting strategy is very much niche marketing. Okay, they're focusing on one and one only. You don't have a entry level Porsche or a family Porsche because I know that they brought out the what's his name? Yes. But still, it's still a Porsche. That's just showing off. I mean, you don't want to drop the kids off on a Toyota Corolla, which will also have the same functions basically. But no, they are targeting a particular market in a small section of the market. You probably need to be in top 1% income bracket if you want to own a vehicle like that. Is that a request for a smoke break?
No, so I just wanted to ask a random question. Not sorry to go off topic, but it's just been on my mind.
Of course.
How much would a Lamborghini cost in South Africa?
I think close to 3 million.
I wouldn't know, that's why I'm finding out.
Are you looking?
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, why set the standards very low? Set it as high as you can. Yeah, quite right. I don't actually know, to be honest with you. I've got a wide interest. Vehicles is not one of my my passions, but 10 million. There we have it. Oh my word, we're talking here about Lamborghinis. Okay, right. 10 million. I'll have to save a bit more. Work a bit longer. By the time you can afford it, you can't even drive it anymore. Yes. No, we're not doing chapter 5. The chapters we do are the chapters that we do. Not every chapter in this is in this book, and that's why when the inquiry was about can I use the 5th edition or is the 6th edition the only one that we can use? Basically, the feedback we got from the I think it was Pearson. Yeah, I think Pearson is the publisher. They Oxford. They said that certain specific chapters have changed. The one on digital marketing was one of it, but because you are studying digital marketing as a module in itself, it wasn't. The differences in this book, in the chapter related to that, was not significant. So either edition 5 or 6 can work. And there were some chapters at the end on sustainability. I think it's chapter 17, which we don't do. There are chapters in the textbook that we don't cover. We do not have every single. We can cover most of them, but you only have to focus on the ones that we do. And that's why with on Canvas, your study material, the specific chapters and topics are exactly the same. So it's in the past it was confusing. Topic 1 was maybe chapter 2. Okay, so now we've basically the numbers correlate, and only the chapters that we do is on Canvas. So there will be chapters that we skip. It's not necessarily for as a learning outcome that needs to be achieved for this particular module. Right. The diagram that you have on the screen is just again an example of the different target marketing approaches that could be followed. Again, will I give you something like this in the exam? No, but it's just interesting to read because it is towards the end of the section that was just covered. So it sort of just puts everything. Some people learn more visually than anything else. So if they understand with all the target markets, distribution, marketing, communication, and price here on your left-hand side, and at the top the target market approaches. Okay. Again, it's interesting to see, interesting to go through, easy to understand, but don't necessarily expect something like this in an exam at all. Okay. While we're on the subject, chapter 7 is on positioning. So although to complete the process, it's often referred to as the STP process, segmentation, targeting, and positioning, STP. Positioning is important enough that we cover an entire chapter on it. Okay, and that will be the next chapter. That will be a chapter that we start next week after the test. Okay. So up to this point, we've done what we had to cover for the test. Any questions at this point about chapter 6? Before we take a break. Those who haven't joined and know of their friends who haven't joined, I'm going to do the test preparation after the break. Okay, so go get them, go wake them up, drag them along. Okay, notify them. Apart from the fact that the session is being recorded and will be uploaded onto Canvas this afternoon when I'm finished with all my classes for the day, as I suggested, what I will do, what I have done already, sorry, the 7-page PowerPoint slides about the test is already on Canvas. In week 5, under your weekly resources, you'll see there's all the chapters. It says revision under your study material, and it then has, I've uploaded again all the chapters that you have done thus far in this week, although they are in the previous weeks as well. In week 5, because today is a preparation revision session, chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. You'll find they are there, and then right at the bottom there's also a test prep, a test revision and prep PDF. Okay. Any questions? Anybody at this stage?
Sorry, sir.
Yes.
I wanted to ask, I'm not sure if you've already mentioned it, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating a question.
No problem.
The quiz that we did, the class test that we did out of 45, I think.
Yeah.
When will we be receiving our marks for that?
Mika, I have to check and see if I've marked everything. I'm not 100% sure because I'm marking 3 classes at the moment, 2 assignments, and also 3 exam or test papers. And just to keep sane, I'm doing a bit of everybody's of all of those that I've mentioned at the same time. It's like me reading a book. If you visit my house, you'll see that there's 3 books next to my bed. It's a Bible, it's a non-fiction book, as well as a factual book, usually a biography. I'll read all 3 of them at the same time every day. And unfortunately, I mark like that as well. I will just check, because I know on Canvas, on my Canvas page, on the right hand, there's a sleeve that says what you have to still mark and what you are busy marking. I'll just check, and unfortunately, I do not have an exact answer for you, but I'll check and I'll respond to it. And if everything has been done and marked, then I will be able to release it and make it visible to you. And I'll post an announcement just before I do that, so you know that you can go out and have a look at it. Anything else?
No, thank you, sir.
Thanks, Mika. Anybody in class? Yes? Can we go? Should we go? We're going to take a break here. There are some smokers here who are definitely going to die if they don't get some joy very quickly. We're going to take, what's the time now, guys? It's 11:17. Let's resume in, how long does it take to smoke? 20 minutes to smoke. What? Let's make it 11:25. Let's make it 11:25, and then we I'll upload the other PowerPoint in the meantime to then prepare you for your test. Okay. Prepare any questions that you have regarding the test as well. If you, I'm pretty sure you have, but we'll address it as. Thanks, guys in class that want to go and have a smoke break are excused. I'll remain online if anybody wants to ask anything, but I'm just going to change the. I'm going to stop the recording. I'm going to stop the recording and just change the